Your body is your most expensive piece of gear. If you're ignoring your physical health, you're putting a hard expiration date on your career. Today, we're revealing why fitness for photographers is a mandatory part of your business plan and how to stay mobile, strong, and injury-free.
Welcome to Commercial Photographer, your guide to marketing, creativity, and growth. This is a podcast that helps commercial, brand, and headshot photographers navigate the competitive world of commercial photography with actionable strategies to grow your business.
Well, hello there, Sam. How are you doing?
Excellent, Marcus. Very good. And what about you?
Yeah, I am very good. So we're getting into the year 2025, and things are looking good. Thank you.
Excellent. Right, and then today, what are we talking about? I think it's us two, Marcus. So what are we talking about today, Marcus?
Well, do you know what? I've just seen a little bit of chat lately on the interweb about photographers talking about fitness and, I guess, keeping your body maintained as well as your mind. So, Sam, I thought we could have a little chat between ourselves and maybe to see if some ideas that we can come up with.
In this show, we're going to be looking at the physical rigour of the job, whether you're lying in mud for the perfect shot or sitting at a desk for weeks of processing. Your body is under constant stress. We're discussing the double whammy of the photography lifestyle and why atomic habits might be the secret to keeping your joints healthy. We'll talk about the 3 areas of fitness you cannot ignore if you want to stay in this game for 20 plus years, and we explore some very practical desk-side solutions to keeping you energized. Plus, Marcus shares a controversial minimalist kit strategy that reduces the physical load of a shoot without sacrificing quality. Yeah, because there is quite a lot of physical rigour to the job, isn't there? And depending on what you're doing, obviously in a studio, there isn't so much, is there? But if you're, out and about doing weddings and doing events, you've often got a lot of heavy kit.
Yes.
You often, as you were saying, if you're getting funny angles, you're standing on steps or you're lying on the ground or your knees are in the mud. Who was it we interviewed and said they managed to lie on a dog poo in the middle of a wedding or something?
Gosh,
I can't remember. It was somebody we interviewed a year or so ago, and she said, she laid down to get that shot and then realised what she'd been lying on. And there's a lot of that, isn't there? But there's also a lot of which I have as well. The desk work which is equally bad for you, or not so sitting at desks for a long period of time while you're doing your processing.
Yeah, I think exactly. So we got a double whammy here, haven't we? At home you're going to be sort of stuck in one place at your desk, and when you're out and about on a shoot, especially like you said, Sam, on an event or a wedding, which can be a very long day indeed, 12 hours plus possibly. You're going to be exerting your body to the max. So look, I think this first of all, before we really dive into this, we're obviously not doctors, and we're not experts, but we do both of us keep fit, if I may say that. And I've got a little bit of experience. I was a cycling coach for Sky. I used to help out with their youth team. And I've been doing cycling.
Yeah, and I was a kayak. I was a qualified level 4 kayak coach. So yes, we've got a little bit of experience between us. So yes, if you get stuck, I can teach you how to roll a kayak.
And I can teach how to roll off a bike. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, where are we going to start? Well, let's.
Yeah, so I can say there's kind of 3 areas, isn't there? I'd have thought there's the kind of generally keeping yourself fit and what you might do about that. There's the on the day sort of events, weddings, what you need to think about, because it's very easy to just dive in and do stuff and cause yourself problems without just thinking carefully about how you behave and how you might just protect yourself a bit, and what you might do while you're sat at your desk.
You've got daily. What we can do on a daily basis. What can we do when we're working, and what can we do when let's call it editing and working from home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
should we start with the kind of just general keeping fit type of stuff?
Yeah. Well, look, exercise can take many forms, but I think really the exercise you want to be doing, and you should be doing exercise, start off with doing something you want to do.
That was exactly going to be exactly. I was waiting for you to finish so I could say that. If you don't like it, you're never going to do it, are you? I have been to the gym once in my entire life.
Likewise.
I've never been so bored. Some people, though, love it. It's not I say you shouldn't do it. It's find something you enjoy. Be that going for a run, be that being in the gym, be that taking up boxing, whatever it is. Yeah, you've got to find something you enjoy, don't you? Because otherwise you'll give up. And you might need to try a few things, and try a few things. So that's really important. Sticking at it's really important, isn't it? So whatever you are doing, anything you're changing, finding time. I think it's almost like with your marketing, like with your creativity, make that time. If you say, I'll do it. So a club's quite good, isn't it, Marcus?
Exactly.
It's at a fixed. Exactly. It's at a fixed time.
Exactly.
So yeah, the gym and stuff is good, but you've got to be more disciplined with that sort of thing. While a club is really quite, it's 8 o'clock on a Wednesday, so I'd better be there.
Exactly right, Sam. And there's accountability there. You've got also
yes.
doing it consistently. So those kind of things matter. I think. Obviously, I mentioned earlier about cycling, and that's my big sport. So I'm going to just put my hand in the air and say a big thumbs up, as it were, for doing. If you're going to be doing something, do cycling. And this is why I think cycling is so good, Sam. It's because you can get exercise while you're not exercising. You can be going down the pub, you could be going to the shops on your bike, and you're going to be doing exercise. So that's got to be a win for a start.
There we go. So our message is do what you like, but according to Marcus, what you like is biking. Just get on your bloody bike.
And also in cycling, it's great for your body. It's great, not for all your body, I had to say, but certainly very good for your knees and for your joints. It's also really good for your cardiovascular. There is nothing better than getting your heart rate up than doing a bit of bike riding, especially up a hill.
That's it. So there's a few things you need to work on, isn't it? I think there's 3 areas, and one of them bicycling is terrible at. So yes, you've got to do your cardio, so you've got to get your heart rate up a few times a week, doing whatever it is you're doing. So your chest club isn't probably going to do that. There's the kind of weight strength stuff, which again, like you say, going up a hill, bicycling does. What bicycling is bloody awful at is the flexibility side. That's really, it's not good at that at all. You definitely need to do something else. So some sports are great with that. If you're doing gymnastics, you're certainly going to gain the flexibility side. But for some others, maybe something like yoga, something else is going to need to come into.
We'll talk about that.
Especially as you get older, it's very easily to lose that flexibility, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're right about cycling being road cycling is not good for your flexibility. But if you're doing mountain biking or just general commuting, that is not bad for your flexibility, especially for mountain biking.
Your legs are still only going up and down a little bit, Marcus. There's not a lot of extra range coming in there.
Fair comment. I think whenever I read up on this, the sport that comes out numero uno is got to be swimming for your body. That's the best thing you could do for your body is swimming.
It is. But again, it's what interests me. I have no interest in getting into a bloody swimming pool and going up and down. I'll probably drown upon something else. But yes, but like you say, some people do. So they're the 3 things, aren't they? You need to work on that strength bit, on that cardiovascular, on the flexibility, and do it regularly. Make a plan. I do a weekly plan. We talked about this before. I do a weekly plan, what I'm going to do in my work, but also I'll put, 5 o'clock, I'm going to now, go and do, go for a run, go for a bike ride, go whatever it is, and put that in my plan, which kind of then leads on to the desk thing. What do we do about being sat at a desk? Because that's the other side of photography, isn't it? Being sat at a desk for so long.
Well, I think, you're right. And for this, I'm going to come in with the other thing that I do, which is yoga. Yeah. And that's a new thing for me. I've been only doing it for 3 years, but I do it consistently. I do it every day. And I only do 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night time. But I was so surprised how that has changed my body. Not quickly. It does take a bit of time because it's not, intense. But it's certainly, I've noticed when I'm out photographing, I feel a lot more flexible. When I used to do events before, I'd come out with backache or knee ache, and I don't get those problems so much. And if I do get them, they don't last very long. I can normally recover quickly.
No, it is really good. And it's good for balance as well. When you're trying to get a funny angle in the church and you're on one leg trying to get round the font to get the right angle, if you've got that flexibility and balance and things, it does help, doesn't it? And you're less likely, if you're doing silly things in an event, to injure yourself if you've got that strength, flexibility, an awareness of your body, which yoga brings.
100%, and exactly right. And another great thing about balance is falling over at a much older age is one of the precursors to having a short life, dare I say it. So if you can retain your balance, and it's great for dementia as well. You don't realising it, but when you're balancing, your brain waves are all firing all over the place, and it's really good for preventing dementia.
That's it. So I think the yoga is really good, but definitely not on its own, because it's not. Yeah, Pilates, that type, something where you've got that flexibility, but with something else, because the cardio kind of isn't there so much, is it?
Well, you can not in the same way. Just I mean, just going back to the cardio and talking about exercise you can do for that. Walking, of course, is another really, really good one you can do.
Yeah.
They say do 10,000
easy
steps.
to do.
If you can do that, it's quite a lot. But if you can do that, it's great. So you were going to say, Sam?
Yeah. I was just say it's so easy to, you don't need any equipment.
Exactly.
You just step out your door and off you go.
Yeah.
Maybe a raincoat or an umbrella on a wet day. And that's it.
If you are walking, though, you need to make sure you're walking at a good pace. You shouldn't be able to talk, ideally, or certainly look for some hills that you can go up. I think doctors reckon that you should try and aim to get your heart rate in a maximum place for 30 seconds 3 times a week, which doesn't sound a lot, but that is quite, that is like really going for it. But only 30 seconds, HIT.
Yeah, that's not that long. Yeah. And then the other thing I think you've got as well, Marcus, with doing stuff at your desk is a sit-stand desk. I've got one of those, and I find it brilliant. Yeah. I think you do too, don't you? And it is, just like with everything else, it is easy to put it permanently in the sit mode and not get off your bum. But yeah, I'm saying that while sat on my bum. But normally for podcast recording, I'm not at it right now, I'm somewhere else. But normally when I'm podcast recording, I put it stood up. I do meetings stood up.
I totally agree.
Decided I've got to have something to make me stand up, otherwise I will sit on my bum all day. So I make sure every time I do a meeting, I'm stood up. And you could do it for whatever, couldn't you? You go, right, for every, for 10 photos in 50, I'm going to stand up. Whatever it is, just come up with something that you've got to, I'm going to stand up for that bit.
And also, I've noticed when I'm doing a Zoom call standing up, I just feel a lot more energized, and you can use your hands as well. Like I'm just doing now, you can't see, but you start to use your hands more, and you're more animated, and people do pick up on that in Zoom calls.
No, I think you're right. It is. I mean, that's one of the reasons I use it, of course. You are more awake. You are thinking about it more. Maybe you're trying to keep the call to a sensible length as well. It's like, oh my god, I'm going to need to sit down soon.
So yoga. So let's say you want to. I can speak from my experience. I've just said what my experience is. I'm quite new to it, but I do it. I don't go to a club or a group. I do it online. I do it at home, and I just found there's lots of people who offer it on that service. It's lots of lessons on there. I've got 1 or 2 that I follow, and what I did was I just picked out 2 or 3 exercises or routines, yoga ones, about 10 minutes each, and I just repeated those. So that meant that I don't need to be looking at the screen all the time. I sort of knew what was coming up next, so I could focus on my positioning and whatever pose I'm doing.
Very good. Well, yeah, I've done it opposite. I've not done it for a little while now, but yeah, I've always gone to clubs or classes. I've done it the other way. I think maybe I don't have the awareness. I think probably my positions would be all over the place if somebody wasn't there going, Sam, you need to move that like that, because you're in the wrong place.
Well, you just got to find the right tutor online, or go to groups. I mean, both are just as long as you're going to do it. The reason I do it at home is because I can just get up and do it really quickly and get it over and done with, and then have the rest of the day to myself.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But also, I was just going to mention something about habits. And you know that book, Sam, Atomic Habits? Have you ever read that?
I know the book, but I haven't read that one yet. It's one on my list. I'll get round to it.
Basically, I can sum it up by saying you build a habit by you get into a habit by putting one habit on top of another. So, for example, for me, with the yoga, I know every morning I wake up, I have a cup of coffee. So that means as soon as I have my coffee is poured, I go and do yoga for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that really worked.
That
I was
makes
surprised.
sense.
It's like, believe me, Sam, I'm not good at maintaining anything for more than a few weeks. Really, Mum. But I am still doing it, and I do it because of that coffee thing.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So yoga, Pilates,
Excellent.
anything like that is really, really good to do. What can we say?
Yeah, and then I think the last thing, because we're running out of time, we haven't talked about as well, is when you're out shooting, is being super aware of what you're doing, and especially around heavy bags.
Definitely,
it's very
Sam.
easy to think you need every piece of kit, and I think, first of all, think about what you actually need. And, yes, you don't want to be caught short, but equally there is no point taking around far too much stuff.
100%.
And then think about what you're carrying. So maybe you have a car bag where there's more, and then the bag you're carrying has less,
right.
so that you're kind of switching it. I think take the minimal with you and think about the bag. So like a rucksack is great because it's better for carrying, but then it's not as easy to just grab something out of, is it? So it's trying to balance how easy it is to carry with the weight and everything else. And I think there's no right or wrong way, but it's being aware. I think the wrong way is just having everything in a huge bag slung over your shoulder that's going to do you harm.
That's the wrong way, Sam, exactly. I mean, I've got 4 or 5 different camera bags of different sizes, and I just basically, depending on the job, I will just pack the camera bag accordingly, just like you said. And it's surprising how little you can get away with. I mean, if I'm doing headshots for a company, I will take basically one light, one really good light, but one light, a medium-sized umbrella, which can be attached to the bag, but a good quality umbrella. I take one lens, believe it or not, a 50mm, because I like the 50mm, and it means I can get close to people when I'm talking. And 2 cameras, a spare, of course, as well. So I take, that's just, and the trigger, etc. That's what I take, and that's easy.
And also, as soon as you're there, the light's down. You're not carrying that around with you.
It's fixed.
It's a lot of it, I think, isn't it? And then it is when you're at the event, it's getting into the habit of lifting things in the right way, carrying them in the right way, because it's so easy to be focusing on the event, and afterwards you go, ooh, my back hurts. Ooh, well, if you've just make sure that you just pick up your bag the right way and just try not, it's just taking care of yourself, isn't it, really?
And you'll get caught up in the moment, Sam, like you're saying, and you get lost in it, and you've got to avoid that happening. I'm not saying, to be really considerate all the time, but just be aware of it. If I'm doing a larger shoot, and I'm going to be taking heavy stands and more lighting, I always employ an assistant these days. And, and it could be somebody, it doesn't have to be a photography assistant, it could be somebody just to carry the bags, literally. Sam, that was a really important chat. It's easy to talk about lenses and marketing, but none of it matters if your back goes out halfway through a wedding. My first takeaway was a personalised fitness point. You've got to find something you actually enjoy, whether it's cycling, yoga, swimming, because consistency is the only thing that protects your career in the long run. Secondly, the atomic habits approach. Adding 10 minutes of movement to your morning coffee routine is such a low friction way to maintain the flexibility we need for commercial photography. It's about those small wins over time. And finally, to answer the question about gear I mentioned, the minimalist kit. I found that for many jobs I can get away with just one light, one umbrella and a single 50mm lens. It keeps me fast, it keeps the physical strain low and allows me to focus on the person, not the heavy bags. It's proof that you don't need a mountain of kit to deliver a premium result.
And don't forget that you can get for free the Commercial Photographer Guide to Creativity and Marketing. After all, that's what this show is all about. To get your free download, all you need to do is go to our website at commercial-photographer-podcast.com/creativity. Let me do that one again. commercial-photographer-podcast.com/creativity. And from there, you can get your free guide from us to marketing and creativity. Sit-stand desks, all those.
I love it. You've summed it up well there, Sam. You've summed it up very well. Well done. Nice one. Okay, Sam, thank you. It's been nice chatting to you, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. If you want to make sure you never miss a show, head to the website commercial-photographer-podcast.com and sign up to the newsletter. We'll be back next week with more practical advice to help you grow your business. See you next time.